Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to thank Chairman Bishop for holding this hearing today. As was stated, this is our second hearing on intimidation and bullying by federal land management agency. But I don't think anyone in this room wants to simply point fingers or make unfounded accusation. The issue should be improving relationships, and that improvement only is a two-way street that requires dialogue and partnership, not name-calling and disengagement. Unfortunately, like the first hearing on this subject, the administration was not invited to testify. We will not be able to hear their perspective or have them respond directly to the witnesses in order to find solutions and common ground. Their presence would have made this a much more useful hearing and better use of this committee's time. Instead, this afternoon will be an echo chamber of complaints and hand-wringing. We'll hear testimony on the range of issues, from the Endangered Species Act to accusations that the BLM is turning southern Utah into a police state. However, I will also like to say that all federal employees, regardless of rank and position, should have and should uphold a high standard of professionalism to provide the best possible service to the public. And I think we can all agree that the vast majority act in a professional and courteous manner. Unfortunately, like any company, organization, or government, there will be instances where employees do not live up to that standard, and they must be held accountable. Today's hearing will be an opportunity to hear from individuals who have grievances with the federal land managers and law enforcement personnel. As we hear from today's witnesses, I think it's important to remember that these incidents should not be seen as a reflection of all the public land management agencies and their employees. Today's witnesses will describe disputes they've had with BLM and the Forest Service over grazing permits, water rights, and law enforcement, among other issues. Keep in mind, BLM administers 18,000 grazing permits and leases 155 million acres, and the Forest Service administers nearly 8,000 grazing permits on roughly 90 million acres, the vast majority of which are managed without complaints or incidents. It is the responsibility of the federal land managing agencies and their employees to protect the land that is the property of the entire American people. With such a broad directive, the opinions on how to do so are endless. In some of these cases, disagreement in policy is perceived as overreach of authority, and the land managers who under law carry out the policies are considered threatening and bullying. It is important to see these examples for what they are: a matter of difference in policy opinion, and we must not lose sight of that. Mr. Chairman, thank you, and with that I yield back the balance of my time.